News Alert as we are learning more because we're all drilling down on this on our phones and whatever devices we can read about it. The comments, the written comments now, James Comey is expected to make at the very start of that hearing tomorrow in front of the Senate. And what he may say about his conversations with President Trump about all sorts of things. General Flynn, Russia. This comes to mind, and I'm bringing this from the notes of Catherine Herridge. We have our whole journalism team working on this right now. The first section which jumps out to Catherine is that Comey says he met alone with President Trump, then candidate or incoming president, on January 6th to, quote, brief him on some personally sensitive aspects of the information assembled on Russian interference. And he goes on to say, Comey added it was important to tell the incoming president the intel community thought, quote, there was some effort to compromise an incoming president, but we could blunt any such effort with a defensive briefing, end quote. A lot to get through. Let's bring in our chief White House correspondent, John Roberts. John, I know you're looking through this. Senator Thune thought that you might be doing this work too. Everybody's watching to see what is in this document. 7 or 8 pages? What are you finding?
7 pages. I made it all the way through to the end. Just to reiterate, when he talks about that Oval Office meeting with the president, that was on February the 14th, when the president brought up Mike Flynn. Again, James Comey says, I did not understand that the president to be talking about the broader investigation into Russia or possible links to his campaign when he asked him to let the Flynn matter go. I could be wrong, but I took him to be focusing on what had just happened with Flynn's departure and the controversy around his account of his phone calls, which would seem to shoot down the reporting, speculation, whatever you want to call it, that the president was asking Comey to drop the entire investigation into Flynn and Russia. Comey does go on to say, though, quote, regardless, it was very concerning given the FBI's role as an independent investigative agency. He goes on to say the FBI leadership team agreed with me it was important not to infect the investigative team with the president's request, which we did not intend to abide. He says that they did not bring it to the attention of the Attorney General because they knew that he was going to be recusing himself in connection with the Russia investigation. Comey says, after discussing the matter, we decided to keep it very closely held, resolving to figure out what to do down the road as our investigation progressed. Then he gets into the March 30th phone call. You remember, the president said he was told 3 times by James Comey, once at dinner and twice in phone calls, that he was not under investigation. Here's what Comey says about that March 30th phone call. On the morning of March 30th, the president called me at the FBI. He described the Russia investigation as a, quote, cloud that was impairing his ability to act on behalf of the country. He said he had nothing to do with Russia, had not been involved with hookers in Russia, and had always assumed he was being recorded when in Russia. He asked what we could do to, quote, lift the cloud. I responded that we were investigating the matter as quickly as we could and that there would be great benefit if we didn't find anything to our having done the work well. He goes on to say a little further down, I explained that we had briefed the leadership of Congress on exactly which individuals we were investigating, and we had told those congressional leaders that we were not personally investigating President Trump. I reminded him that I had previously told him that. He repeatedly told me we need to get that fact out. So there, corroboration from the former FBI director as to what the president said about being told at least now twice by the FBI director that he was not under investigation.
All right, I want to step in real quickly here before we have to go to a break, because what you said to me was so significant. What Comey is saying seems to shoot down the idea that the president was pressuring him to back off of General Flynn. Did I get that right from what you said? And if so, wouldn't that be the point in all of this? This actually then would substantiate and help the president in what he's been saying all along.
Again, that I think is the main point here. The fact that James Comey, though he was troubled by what the president was saying to him at that dinner, did not take it to mean that the president was asking him to back off on the entire Flynn investigation and the entire Russia, either connection to the Trump campaign or Russia influence in the election. It was specifically the details surrounding his firing, Mike Flynn's firing, and the phone calls, and whether or not he had been truthful about those phone calls. By the way, he does detail the results of the April 11th phone call that the two of them had, in which he again says that he is not personally under investigation. That is the president. James Comey says the president is not personally under investigation. So the president was told once at dinner and twice in phone calls, according to Comey, he was not under investigation. So that completely corroborates what the president has said.
John Roberts, thank you so much. The headline there, though, Comey seeming to shoot down this idea that the president was pressuring him to back off of the investigation into his former national security advisor. We will get into this. this more. Stay with us right here on Fox.